Hey guys, HuShang here. It's a nice day today. We've got some Starcraft 2 PTR patch notes 5.09. Alright, so we finally got some patch notes. I know Showtime was hinting at it for a little bit, and a couple other people as well. So we've got some patch notes. It's not an April 1st joke. So we're going to go through these patch notes, look at them each individually, and kind of what they're going to affect and what I think about them as well. So first change here, we've got the shield battery. Starting energy going to be reduced from 100 to 50, but only outside the Nexus field. So basically, if you put the shield battery inside the Nexus area where you can overcharge it, it's going to have 100 energy. And then if you put it outside that zone, it's only going to have 50. So this is basically not going to affect anybody playing defensively at all, because you're always going to be putting your shield batteries inside the Nexus field anyways, so that you can overcharge them. So really what this is targeting is the Proxy Immortal and Proxy Void Ray all-ins. So I think this is a great change. Anything, honestly, that reduces cheese, in my opinion, is really good. I don't think they should ever nerf cheese completely, but you know, they should be pretty easily defended, I think, at the highest level for the most part. And they're more so something that you need to, you know, learn how to deal with. And once you learn how to deal with it, then you're safe against it at the, you know, other leagues, Masters, Diamond, Platinum, etc. So this seems like a pretty good change. I don't think anyone's going to argue against this change. So let's move on to the Dark Templar. And Dark Templar are now, well, these changes aren't final, but in this patch notes, they're going to have a 0.75 second attack delay after blinking. So this is specifically targeting the blinking on Terran, I believe, their army, and having to have like a super crazy fast reaction time to scan them and stim, and you know, the Dark Templar are going to trap them. And yeah, it was pretty hard for Terran to deal with this, so this is pretty fair. And it's also targeted at the blinking on the planetaries. So, I mean, this is not a massive delay. It's only 0.75 seconds. But I think that's actually pretty fair, just to give Terrans a little bit of time to react at the very least. And maybe also that's enough time for some Widowmines to go off. I'm not sure. I haven't played these changes at all. I just saw them come out. But I'm assuming that'll give maybe Widowmines some time to kill off a few and kind of reduce the burst damage, or maybe Liberators as well, whatever units you got nearby. So I think this is also a great change. Like, anything to reduce these game-ending moments that happen in like 1 second are very good for the game. So this change also really good. These are both nerfs to Protoss. So you'd think I'd be complaining as a Protoss main, but actually these are amazing so far. And now we have a Void Ray change. This was expected. This is probably the most expected change of the patch notes. And the way they're going to nerf the Void Ray is they're going to be increasing the build time from 37 seconds to 43. So a significant change, but you know, not anything super crazy, just a 6-second increase. And then we're also going to be increasing the mineral cost from 200 to 250. So the Void Ray is definitely going to be a bit worse. But I think it's not so much worse based on this change that, you know, Protoss players are going to stop opening 2 Stargate Void Ray. So we're still going to see the 2 Stargate Void Ray, I think. It's just that it's going to be not quite as overwhelming. Okay, next change, we have the Queen change. This actually might be one of the biggest changes of the patch. It's going to basically make it so that Queens can no longer transfuse off of creep. So, you know, early game Queen walks where you don't have Overlords or a lair, you're really not going to be able to do those anymore, I don't think, because this is such a massive change. Like, the biggest part of the Queen walk is that you have like an extra set of health basically on every one of your queens. So not having transfuse off creep is basically neutering those. Like, those are basically not working anymore, I don't think. So that's a massive change. So it's going to be a lot harder for Zerg to kill Protoss. Like, basically you can't kill Protoss anymore. So this change actually I'm not sure about, because I think the goal of the changes were supposed to be to not let Protoss speed run to late game, right? And maybe help them defend the Void Rays coming in from weird angles. So I thought we were going to see some sort of like spore change, honestly, to help them deal with that, because the spores get countered by the Void Rays too hard. But instead, we're going with a Queen nerf to transfuse off creep. So in my mind, this actually makes the problem worse, the way I see it. Because, okay, the Void Ray is more expensive, yes, but now Protoss doesn't even have to worry about Queen walks. So, I mean, you can just like speed run into late game even harder. So I'm not sure what the angle is from this for this change, but yeah, this one has me a little nervous actually as a Protoss player, because yeah, this seems even better for me. So yeah, that's not great. I will point out though that you can still queen walk if you bring an overlord and spread creep. So it's not like you can't transfuse anymore in the attack. It's just that there's a little bit of an extra step. You have to have a layer done, bring an overlord, drop creep, and then start spreading from that position. And then you can transfuse. So there is kind of like a little, you know, secret here. Maybe the Zerg players were telling everybody, all right, we won't transfuse off creep, fine. But then secretly they know we can drop some creep with our overlords and keep transfusing. But thinking about, I don't think it's going to be that useful, to be honest, because it's just like you don't usually get the layer with these queen walks anyways. So anyways, I think this is the biggest change. This one kind of scares me, actually. I think this is just going to make Protoss even worse at the highest level based on this change, but even better at like the master GM level. Like this actually seems to even just worsen the both problems. So yeah, anyways, we'll see. These changes aren't live. Maybe I can make a difference. I hope. Okay, then we also have a Widowmine Change here. And the Widowmine Change is to reduce the effectiveness of Drilling Claws. Oh, this is just a typo. From 0.71 seconds to 1.07 seconds. So it's not going to change the Widowmine without Drilling Claws, but once you get the Drilling Claws upgrade, it's not going to be burrowing as fast as it was before. It's going to be a little bit more delayed, which I think is a great change. I think it was pretty overpowered in Protoss Mineral Lines, honestly. Like it was really fast. And it was a little bit too strong, I think, against Zerg as well when they're playing Ling Bane. So I think this is a good change. Yeah, anything to really kind of reduce the game-ending moments, like I said earlier with the Dark Templar, is good. So, you know, this change I like, the Dark Templar change I like. Those are both really nice. And yeah, I guess there's not too much to say about that. I just kind of like this change. There's not yeah, it's just a nice change. Okay, so we have the Lurker. And the Lurker is going to kind of follow the same idea. We're going to be reducing the effectiveness of the Adaptive Talon from 0.71 seconds to 1.07 seconds. So same kind of idea. I think they could maybe even go a little harder on the Lurker, potentially. In some ways. I always thought the Lurker was, you know, actually like a little bit weak in terms of the strength of the siege unit, but it also just sieges way too fast, so it kind of doesn't have any disadvantages like the tank has. So I would actually like to see the Lurker stronger, which some people might think is crazy, but I think Zerg needs a strong ground unit, because I would like to see something like the Broodlord nerfed, so that it's a lot harder for Zerg to be playing this turtle late game. And I would also like to see something like the Carrier nerfed. Same kind of idea, because in my ideal Protoss versus Zerg matchup, players are playing more, you know, ground style compositions that are more interesting because you have to deal with terrain. So yeah, it's kind of a good change. I like it in some respects, but I think it forces the PvZ matchup more into late game, which is the opposite of what I would want for the ideal balance changes. And then we have the Nidus Worm change. This one I have no idea what, like, I don't even know why this is suggested, but the creep is going to be increased by 1 unit in each direction around the worm when it spawns. Why? I have literally no idea. I didn't even know this was a problem, but okay. I mean, it's not a huge change. I honestly don't really care. Like, whatever. I don't know what this affects. I guess you can more easily spread your creep, or I don't know. Maybe when it popped, it was hard to move your units at first. This seems like the kind of change where you nerf the observer speed by a little bit. I don't know. It's really weird. It's almost like a non-important change. Yeah, so those are my thoughts on these changes. I'm really excited we finally got a balance patch. I wasn't sure if we were going to get one ever. So in that way, it's very cool. But even though I like pretty much every one of these changes except for the queen one, I don't think that these actually address a lot of the problems, specifically with the Void Ray and late game PvZ. So yeah, as much as I like these changes, I feel like it's missing a lot of different changes. So I hope we can maybe try and instigate some of those. I'm going to be doing another video. Not right now, because I want to think about these and make sure that they're the best changes. But I'm going to propose some new changes that I think target the problems a little bit better. And I'll release that video maybe tomorrow or the next day. And we can go over what I think are going to be better changes that address the problems, along with some of these changes that I like as well. So thanks for watching, guys. Those are my thoughts on the balance changes. Let me know what your thoughts are in the comments. This is definitely a very complex topic. So, you know, maybe you guys have thought of some things that I haven't thought of. Maybe some of these changes are actually really good or really bad. So let me know. Let's have a bit of a discussion. And we'll probably also be talking about this on Discord. So make sure you guys join the Discord. I'm going to be making a like a Discord thread so we can talk about these changes specifically. And if you want to support my content, you can become a YouTube member. There's a little join button by the subscribe button. We've got a lot of awesome perks there, actually, if you want to go check that out. I also offer coaching. Check out my website, HuShangCoaching.com. And yeah, I think that's it. So thanks for watching. I will see you guys in the next one.